Hey, welcome into this edition of the GASO Rundown. I'm your host, Ryan Massett. I'm joined by the GASO staff, Blue Zertucci, Lyndon Cook, Mike Timmons. We are here live at the TABC Showcase. Fantastic event, guys.
Yeah, they put together a great lineup, a lot of action on multiple courts, 10 courts in total. Just a great event overall.
Yeah, all sizes of schools were able to represent. We had college coaches crawling through watching 1A through 6A, you know. If you're a player, they had eyes on you, and it was a really great event for the state of Texas to grow the game and get a lot of kids opportunities to play at the next level.
And I'll just say the buzz from players, parents, college coaches, you just could feel the aura in the gym. You know, new fans of basketball were like, wow, I didn't even know this was a thing. And it's just something that people are really excited for, and July is just now starting, so it's a great way to start this whole live period.
And I think one thing that needs to be said about just Lyndon and Michael Timmons and Derek Taylor covered the event like nobody else. I mean, trust us, go to @TexasHoopsGaso, @TexasHoopsTV, and just see the coverage on Instagram @TexasHoopsTV. It is just, it's full. And then I'm sure you're going to have a lot of videos coming out here on YouTube here soon. So it's an incredible weekend.
Yeah.
Well, as this event is wrapping up, it was all about players. Like I said, we had, how many coaches were here? 150, 200. It was pretty
300.
crazy, and they're here for the kids in the state of Texas. So I think it's a perfect transition to just moving to some players that really caught y'all's eye. I'm going to kick it off. Landon Brown, Dallas Faith family, moved from iSchool. He really fits in and seems very comfortable at Faith Family, and I think it's going to stick. Timmons, we were talking about him, just his length, how he moves, and then he was shooting the ball great.
And I think a kid, like you said, coming from iSchool, they played a very powerful schedule last year. He was able to play with Keontae George, and that's valuable experience, whether it's minutes in games or just being in practice. You know, he's a gamer that's going to bring a lot of confidence to that team. While Faith Family is losing some kids this year, he's going to be one of those bright spots for them going forward. But yeah, his length, coast to coast in transition, man, he just bounces around and kind of just has a lot of pop and spring to his game that I'm really impressed with.
Yeah, no doubt he's just fantastic. Look for him, make some noise. The guy who stole the show on Friday night, Keon Williams. How many offers did he pick up this weekend, Lyndon?
At least 3 at the time that we're filming this. I mean, a lot of times you see a guy have some really good games throughout a weekend, and you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, offers start trying to trickle in for him. But college coaches are not messing around. They're getting right to business. They're offering Keon Williams because this kid has been nothing short of spectacular. Defense, offense, he does everything. He's going to defend you 94 feet, and then he's going to put 25 on your head at the same time. Really, really impressive. And Mansfield Legacy, they're making some noise. They're somebody to watch for in 5A this next year.
Keon is the guy that you say, hey, I need this done. It could be a three-pointer, it can be a stop, it could be a rebound. It's going to get done.
Yeah.
Keon's great. Guy that we haven't seen this summer up until now, who we were really excited to see, the Millender brothers, Kamari and Smurf. Fantastic. Clearbrook, floor generals, getting after it, Blue. They stuck out to you.
You get those two together on the court at the same time, and a lot of just great things are happening. They're feeding off each other. The entire team, though, is a hard-nosed, in-your-face, guard-oriented team that they're hitting layups, they're hitting shots. The Millenders, they can go off for 20 or they can go for 10, but then they get everybody else involved.
Yeah, no, those two at the front two of a press, good. Forget about having an easy time getting the ball up the court. Very impressed with them. And then, you know, Zion Little also had a big game for them in the front court as kind of another scoring option for them. Somebody to play off the Millenders, but those two were really impressive out of Houston this week.
Yeah, I think he had there was a double-double in there, 25 points, 10 assists for Kamari, and he's going to shoot up our rankings. He deserves it. He's a really good player. Brody Robinson been making a lot of noise lately in the grassroots scene. Comes here, plays well. Blue, you got to see him. What'd you think?
He was in the individual event, and so there was coaches there to see him, and there was coaches there to kind of line up to see others. But he really stood out. Really shifty ball handler. Has a great feel with the ball in his hands to dish off. If you're anywhere near the basket, you better be ready. And then all of a sudden, he's just going to feel himself and bam, just drop like an NBA 3 on you. And he'll just get past that timeline and just want to take it. And, you know, sometimes we'll say good shot, bad shot, but he's got a lot of confidence.
No doubt. Josiah McWright just picked up a Texas A&M offer recently. He showed us why in Gym 4 yesterday. Oh my gosh, man, he's electric.
Man, electric is the word to use. I'll put the clip up over while I'm talking. The clip, you won't see me. You're gonna see the play that I'm gonna talk about right now. In and out crossover down the middle. The C's parted for good reason because what I'm hearing is 6A high jump champ.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is what I was hearing. If not, I know that somebody was telling me that, but it looks the part. But yeah, explosive. And after he dunks it, all of a sudden moved. The mid range is there, hit threes. Just one of the kids I really fell in love with seeing for the first time this weekend.
Yeah, he was absolutely fantastic. Concordia Lutheran, they got two guards, a 22 in Trey Miller and a 23 in Jacob Hudson, who are a really tough pair together. Trey more this bulldog type, and he gets downhill, can finish. Jacob, he hit a buzzer beater at the GASO in Houston, and then I see him hit a three from Trey Miller, assist in the corner. Bang, winner. They're a group that I'm really looking forward to see get better.
And Trey has a lot of good skill to him overall.
Yes.
As the point guard, as the lead guard, trying to distribute, and then also turning around the corners and just getting to the basket and finish. I mean, he's put together well for that point guard position.
Here's an easy one. Jamiron Keller, I think he's a group favorite.
Oh, no doubt.
That was the Friday night game where
Yeah.
he really set the tone from prospects that were looking to make some big noise. Lyndon, you were in that gym?
Yeah, in Gym 2 and putting up 36 points against Finley Bizjack, two guys that coaches wanted to see, and just from the jump, attacking the rim nonstop. He was hitting shots from the outside, but good God, you could not stop this kid from getting to the rim and finishing.
Best guard on the court, and we kind of penciled a little bit going, yeah, he fits perfectly right where the rankings are in that top 10. We'll see what happens when we kind of shuffle it around a little bit because he was really good and just so physical going to the basket.
Yeah, 49-49. Put the ball in Jamiron's hands.
Yeah.
Hits a three. Trusts the teammate, gets to the paint, pitches assist, goes down the rim, cranks one and one. I mean, just like 8-0 run, just boom, game was over. Not to mention, that guy could be an unbelievable football player. That's neither here nor there, but my gosh, built like a house. Really enjoyed watching him.
A teammate, Chris Wilkerson,
Fired
shoots
up,
a three,
yeah.
yeah.
Lighten
And
it up.
and you know what? And Keller will get that defensive pinch and he'll pitch it out.
Yep, he was great. Universal Academy, CJ Luster, big mover this weekend.
Yes,
Wow.
CJ had a great game. They were up against Summer Creek. That matchup, Amari Abram, CJ Luster, was big things expected of them, and they both delivered, but CJ was the one who really turned it on down the stretch, was hitting step backs. A lot of times you think step back's not really a great shot, but that kid was hitting him from 18 and out every single time down the court, getting to the rim, finishing through contact, and he took the game over. They ended up winning by 14 in a nail-biter of a game up until the 3-minute mark. CJ takes over, ball game.
Yep, I'm going to pass it to my big man aficionado, Croy Cox. He's been on our radar for a while now.
Right.
We love watching him.
Well, he was stepping out and knocking down the perimeter shot. I mean, and you look at that body, and he dips inside, and then he pushes somebody out of the way, lays it in. He's running the floor. He's a big part of this offense, and they have a lot of just big bodies in general. Yeah. Just as once we get into the high school season here in a few months, that is a team that's going to be really fun to watch, and the college coaches I think are going to pile in there because there's a lot of good stuff just besides CJ Luster.
Yeah, Cam Paul, 2025. I just want to put his name out there. He popped. Timmons, you and I did a double take like, whoa.
Yeah, I saw him in a middle school camp last year by Chris Harris Sr., and he was a 7th grader then. And I was like, oh, wow, this kid. And we saw him today, as we're talking this morning on a Sunday, hit the step back in the short corner. And your Mass was like, hey, are you the kid? Is that the kid that we were talking? I'm like, yeah, that's him.
6'6", got a frame. Just remember the name. I'm sure we'll be talking about him more on something like this soon. Charles Chuckwu, we got a chance to sit in that back gym yesterday. We thought he was going to break the rim legitimately. I mean, it was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah, he didn't even look like he was about to tear off the rim. He looked like taking the whole goal down at one point. Built like a Greek god, runs the floor, and just so much power in his game. And he has a little bit of skill, too. It's developing. He was able to hit that nice 12 to 15-foot short-range jumper, and that's something that's going to translate for him as he gets to the next level.
Well, let's make note too. I don't know that there's been many basketball games that he's played in since they were knocked out late in the playoffs in the regional finals. And so he went straight into track. He threw the discus. Made it to state.
Yeah.
So if you're playing track, you're also probably running some sprints there. He's just unbelievable getting up and down the court. And in my book, he jumped over some guys this weekend. And so if he can do that, step onto the court without playing a whole lot of games, watch it when he has his training and he's on the court consistently.
Yes. Finally, with his high school, Austin Nunez was fantastic. Friday night, Saturday, all weekend.
Yep.
When he has the ball in his hands, just great things have happened.
Yeah, I said that Austin Nunez in a Wagner jersey was an unlockable character in a video game because it's been so long. I feel like he's paid his dues, sat there, been supportive when he couldn't play last year for his team, and right from the jump versus Greenhill, like that was probably one of the, when I go back and look at my footage from games I filmed, one of the top performances in this TAB showcase. Coming off ball screens, he can just stop on a dime and shoot it from anywhere. Step backs, I always feel like he's just on balance with whatever he's doing. You know, Kevin Garcia, that they also are transferring to Wagner. Those two really worked well together. Wagner's going to be a very big player in the San Antonio area again this summer, this school year.
Yeah, and I think Lyndon had said it off camera. He carried the team. Like, if there was ever a moment that he was waiting for, this was the perfect weekend to show it, that he could sit there and go, I'm going to do the scoring, I'm going to be a defender, I'm going to do everything, let's go win some games. And I think that we saw that this weekend.
And I think he was one of those guys that, you know, as we transitioned from grassroots to your high schools for a week, some of those guys that had the experience of playing on big-time programs, as Austin Nunez has on Southern Assault and being in big games, you could see that confidence and that understanding on how to lead a lot better, and I think that's going to really benefit Wagner going forward this school year.
And I think that you might have touched on a point there of like, how comfortable are all of these players just out there on the court with the chemistry that they have built for some of them 3 or 4 years, playing with each other, having their coach on the sideline. That's what made it special, because it gave somebody like an Austin Nunez a chance to show that he could be a leader and carry a team.
Absolutely. Another group that had a stellar performance. I'm calling them a group. There was one singular guy who I thought was spectacular. But Amarillo, they're a real player in 5A. And they were last year. That team looked a little bit different.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
And obviously starts with the performance of Brendan Housen, because that kid, doesn't matter who he was up against, he was going at him. He went at Jacoby Walter, he went at Noah Shelby, he went at every guy who stepped up to him, and he was making shots left and right from the outside, getting to the paint when he could, but man, that release is so pure, shooting the three. And was really impressed as well with his partners in crime, DeMonzie Woods, and especially Cade Horniker. Cade Horniker seals so well on the block, just like you teach. Gets down into the paint, makes a big target, and he's going to put it on the deck. One dribble, hook shot, shot fakes, scoring inside.
He was so patient inside this weekend. It was one thing, like I said, he sealed first, got the ball, looked around, and then went. And, you know, it was pretty automatic when he got inside. I was really impressed with Cade this weekend.
And what you've talked about there is just like so much of the instincts that he has, that where he has grown, he hasn't put on like a lot of just like pure muscle, but he keeps stretching out. And part of that game of his that is so polished is that he knows he has to go battle for the second chance rebounds, the second chance points, and he does that, and that's a very big points that he makes out on the emphasis that he's on the court. He's going to do those things for you constantly. A lot of college coaches are out there going, who is this guy here? We got to keep following him.
Well, I'm going to nerd out for a second. They run a blocker mover offense, and it's perfect. They have these two big guys. We haven't even touched on DeMon's really, and he was fantastic. They set these flare screens on the outside, and when they catch on the post, they can rip and go do some things, look for the seal inside. It is a perfect offense for this group. Like I said, they're a player in 5A. Big time. Better watch out.
And you have to have smart players, which they are all from top to bottom.
Absolutely. Cy Ranch, one of our favorites. How many times have we watched Mason Docs together this summer?
Man, we should have a button on this podcast, the Mason Docs button, where we press it just to say, oh, look, he was good again.
Yes.
Exactly what you want from a point guard. Really, really did some great things, manipulating ball screens, getting to the paint, all that stuff. And then, Dubem Manecki, man, did he have a game yesterday.
He gets vertical so fast. It's absolutely absurd. how quick he gets off the floor and makes plays, and then he's just fantastic in transition. Starting to develop a little jump shot there too.
And also that wingspan just really is killer when he's got to go leap over somebody, which he does so easily. And Doc's, he's got to pick up. I'm ready to see how many offers he picks up this week because it hasn't been many up until this point. Right. But everybody laid eyes on him.
Stop worrying about his size. Yeah. He's awesome.
And with Doc's, you have a guy in John Urie who's going to
he's going to go to bat.
National treasure.
Everything. And when you think that John Urie has hit form, he was in even more rare form this weekend. Like
calling out Rick Barnes for
if people aren't here, Rick Barnes in the front row in court 1 and John Urie's letting them know, hey, Mason Doc's my guy, you need to go get him. I told you.
And
Urie's packing, I told you.
That relationship goes back so far with TJ4 when Rick Barnes recruited him. So having a little fun out there, Urie knows how to do it. So.
McKinney, Jacoby Walter. I think the best I've seen him was this weekend. Kid just keeps getting better. Alex Anamakwe. Holy cow.
You know what? I think giving teams an hour per day to work out and practice each other, that makes McKinney a dangerous team when you give Wes Watson enough time to game plan. This team is built for this coming year. And I think they were trying to make a lot of statements this weekend. And their players came up to show that we're ready to be the number 1 dog in the state.
Yeah, you even look past those top 2, you've got guys like Jackson Steele, like Devin Vincent, who really do a nice job in those complementary roles. Jackson Steele, a nice 3-point shooter. Devin Vincent, more of a ball handler, but gets to the rim so well.
Thatcher
McClure.
And I think he's an X factor for that team.
Sneaky prospect.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a college basketball player, and he's very good for that group. They shoot the ball so well.
Yeah. And they were missing their point guard.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, as far as Jacoby Walters, man, his pop with the ball is starting to come around. Obviously, we know he can shoot it from anywhere on the court, but his ability to shoot off the dribble and make plays and just the confidence that he's playing with. He's a gamer, and he stepped up in big-time games, especially Beaumont United's matchup against Wesley Yates, and I think those two are 2 of the top we have in the class in Texas, and they really went at it. But no, Jacoby really made a statement this weekend.
Yeah, they're special. Those 2 are very special. Katie Maid Creek had themselves a weekend.
Yes, and
Angel Sagne.
You know what? You just have to like him.
Yeah.
He's out there knocking down some shots from the perimeter. He's going inside, dipping his shoulder in, making some layups. Their Coach Fobbs has their team playing hard every single time. When they're stepping out on a court that you might not expect much on her, they're going hard and they're elevating their opponent's level of play too, because they want to just grind it out, get it to their guards. They have really good chemistry starting to be built with their 2025 freshmen coming in and their sophomores.
Yeah. Speaking of that 2025 freshman, Christian Jones, man, that talk about a way to announce yourself to college coaches. You're at the big D1 event in front of all these coaches, and you're a freshman coming in. A lot of guys be panicked. Never been on that stage before. Not Christian Jones. Yeah. Attacking from the jump, really quick, really good scorer, really great instincts. Really like him as a prospect.
Yeah, I was just filming Christian Jones in February, March down in Houston at an 8th grade event for JL3 now. So for him to step onto this stage. Oh, that kid's electric with the ball in his hands, and I already know as a film camera guy, he's gonna be one of my favorites for years to come.
And let's not forget about Caleb Davis, 6'5", 6'6", really working around the rim and flies up and down the court. Really good squad here.
Good group. Let's move into some games. One of the most fun, the Saturday nightcap. You got Grapevine, Belton, TJ Johnson for Belton, Terrence Ramirez for Grapevine. Holy cow, 43 and 42, is that right?
Yes. One of those that like you had to break out the abacus to keep up with. What a scoring performance.
Are you?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's great.
So one of those that just you're trying to keep up. Normally you have one guy take over, like, oh, I wonder how much so-and-so has. But now it's one guy on each team where they were just going bucket for bucket, back for back, every time down the court. It was a question of who would have the ball last at times. Grapevine ended up pulling away a little bit, but TJ was great, so crafty, getting to the bucket, such a good shooter, and Terrence is so quick and such a threat from behind the arc. that was my highlight performance of the weekend.
Terrence, you're going up, dude. Yeah. You're going up. That's all I got to say, man. You can go.
And tell Sean Ward that too.
Yeah.
He's going up. He's going up.
We got
Sean. Beaumont United, Duncanville. We mentioned Wesley Yates earlier. Wow. He got that Texas offer earlier in the weekend, and boy, how many threes did he hit this weekend? 20?
Probably.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
he can create space like no other.
And you can't knock him off the line.
No.
If he wants to go downhill, you're not moving him. And he's a special scorer. Not to mention his compadre Terrence Arsenault, Mr. Do It All, Swiss Army knife, Mr. 5x5. Lyndon, we talk about how he can.
You can't stop him. I mean, there is so many aspects of his game that he does to perfection that even on a off shooting night, he's going to get you 12 rebounds and 6 blocks. He's one of those. He's so versatile. He's a perfect fit at a college program, and coaches were seeing that this weekend.
Absolutely. I think I'm saving this game for last. I thought it was the game of the weekend. iSchool Richardson. iSchool did pull away at the end, but I was sitting there like, I'm watching potentially 5 pros right now.
Yeah.
And let's just start. We'll start with Richardson and Rylan Griffin. That guy's defense does not get talked about enough. Everybody knows he's a bucket getter. That guy can defend his tail off.
He had a big weekend. I think we can all agree with that. Defensively and offensively, there's a lot of buzz up there with college coaches. And there was a lot of coaches packed into all of their games. Yep. He's becoming that guy that what we thought he was going to be 2 years ago, or at least what I thought as high as he can go. He's got a high ceiling. You talk about it all the time. He is, in this class, he can be just as good as anybody else. And he's knocking down the mid-range game, which people don't always take into consideration as a very important part of the game. He's taking down mid-range jumpers and then highlight after highlight of just cutting to the basket and finishing.
No, he, I think, accelerates and gets as high as anybody with jump shots. Like, when he gets to the spots in the mid-range, it doesn't matter. You know, he doesn't have to be squared up. He just jumps in there as high as he can, and when he's knocking down that mid-range. And then the defense, like we talked about, you know, him and Keontae have, well, you can't really stop Keontae. Rylan Griffin at Oklahoma State in the championship game played Keontae
as good as you can play him.
As good as you can play him, and then again this weekend in that matchup, you know, like you said, Keontae is an incredible player, but Rylan Griffin really makes him work.
Yes, and then I want to move to Cason Wallace. Had as complete of a weekend as anyone here. The guy does it all consistently. I mean, 25 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. He makes the right decision every time.
Every time.
What more do y'all need to see for that? I think he is one of the surest things in this 2022 class, hands down.
Yeah, I agree 100%. No matter who it is they're playing, it could be a JV team, or it could be the defending 5A state champs that they roll out against them. Cason Wallace is going to give you the same level of production no matter what. He's going to make the right play. He's going to make the right pass. He's going to get downhill and finish everything at the rim. He's a shot blocking threat as a 6'5" point guard.
It never gets old.
Which one?
Tell me about it. The one he caught. The one he caught. He did a legitimate turbo block.
Yeah, I posted it, I think, at midnight yesterday. It's on.
Okay, I need to pay attention.
Put it right here.
And you were so ready to put that up. It was midnight. You didn't care. That just does not get old. The speed, the stop and go and transition of the defense. You cannot be safe if you don't know how to have good body control when he's defending you and he's behind you. You probably just hear the guy just approaching, and you probably just lock up because that guy is unbelievable defensively.
Yeah.
All right, let's move to iSchool. Talent all over the place. I mean, let's start with Tyler Smith. Holy cow, he pops sometimes, and it's just like you're like, guys at that size shouldn't be able to do the things he does.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, he came out to start the game against Richardson everywhere, literally everywhere. Offensive rebounds, putbacks, blocking shots, running the court. With his frame, size, and skill set, that guy is the prototype D1 high major rim runner. He can go get you a bucket on the mid post. He can go get you a bucket as the replace man, hitting the 3 at the top of the key. But as a rim runner, as that big target coming down the lane, wanting the ball, dunking everything, you got to love seeing that if you're a D1 college coach.
You talked about how coaches have to be careful boxing him in because he can do so much.
Yeah.
And it's really special to see, and he's starting to come into his own. I mean, obviously, like, you don't have to be you can walk in and say, oh, that guy's different.
Yeah.
You never watched a basketball game in your life. Obviously, the talent train rolls on. You got Arterio Morris. Dude floats with the basketball, makes plays all over the court.
Just what we expected. I mean, we wanted to see how it was going to work with him and Keontae and the rest of that crew, and looks like it's just fine.
Natural.
Yeah.
That's a great segue into Keontae. I mean, the most gifted scorer in this class, all levels, at the rim. I mean, Sam was talking earlier how he looks like he's like going off the wrong foot, but he'll still rise up, meet you at the rim, and put one down. I mean, he's so gifted.
So gifted. I'm really excited for that school in general, iSchool, to represent Texas on a really national schedule this year.
Yep.
And I think those two, the talent that they have, are really going to feed off each other. And Cameron, highlight guy over here, they're going to make some ridiculous plays. I already had the alley-oop lob play that I posted on social media from against Richardson, and that's just the start of this with that duo.
It was really, really good. Okay, I'm going to move into a fun little last round. It's going to be rapid fire. You're going to pick one player and tell me why you liked him this weekend, and probably going to be a stock mover. I'll kick it off. Caden Gums, San Marcos, absolutely phenomenal all weekend. Another guy, I just don't care about his size. He can do everything you want on a basketball court. He's very good. Blue.
Kind of Central Texas still, Smith and Valleys, Zayden High, length, skill, scores it from inside out. College coaches started taking notice of that Central Texas right there.
We got the Houston offer this weekend.
Yeah.
My pick, 2024, Trey Johnson. It's a little early for rankings in that class, but man, he's put the rest of the class on notice that he wants that top 5, maybe even a little higher spot, because he can score it like few others in that 24 class can. Was really, really good for Lake Highlands this weekend.
In 2023, Trent Walters gets anywhere on the court that he wants. The game I saw, he started to get his teammates involved. He put a lot of the scoring load on him, but just the fact that he's able to create, and it's just impossible to guard him. And as he continues to 2023 prospect, as he continues to grow mentally, IQ, he's going to be one of the top floor generals, I think, in the state.
This is going to wrap up the TABC Showcase edition of the GASO Rundown. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you're following us at Texas Hoops GASO and at Texas Hoops TV. Thank you.